This episode is dedicated to Max. Welcome back for another Wurm tutorial. This is episode 70. Today we are beginning our staircase coverage. The focus of this episode is to go over spiral staircases due to a request from Max. Thank you, Max, for your lovely comment. We will go over other staircases in the future, so stay tuned as they will be good ones. This is a special tutorial, however, because it is featuring the Three Stooges.
Yep, yep, yep.
I am approaching this episode slightly differently. I wanted to make it from a person who has never made any stairs before point of view. So basically starting as a complete new person to Wurm with regards to staircases. Because I have two experts at making stairs with me, I'm going to ask the guys and they are going to answer questions. So I'm going to ask the guys questions and they are going to answer. I want to say a huge thank you to two people that have enriched my life beyond measure with their friendships. Thank you guys for helping me help others. So let's start by taking a look at the stairs in question. Mike.
Oh, what are these experts? Oh, no, that's us. I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for them to load in.
Yeah. So anyway, I've got some new staircases set up here. The January 2016 patch introduced some new stairs, including the spiral staircases, which would be the focus of this one. But I thought I'd show just what we have for choices, so people can get an idea. They're not in the Wurmpedia yet, although I'm sure they will get added. If you follow me over this way. Up until now, the only staircase we had was this one, a normal staircase. It's kind of narrow. It goes up the center of the tile, and if you go up there, you see you've got a little bit of floor on either side, and obviously it gets you to the next floor. With this new patch, they have added two versions of it. There's a left version, which starts on the left side of the tile and goes up. And if we come up here, we come down this one. And this is the right-hand one. Goes up the right-hand side of the tile. And I believe you can make those both with and without banisters, the hand railings. They also added a wide staircase, as you see here. And that basically is like a double wide staircase. It takes up the whole tile. You can choose to have the banisters on it or not, and you can choose if you want just right side or left side banister. Finally, the subject of today's tutorial would be the spiral staircase. And it basically comes in two flavors. This is the Clockwise spiral staircase, and it's clockwise as you go up these stairs. And then, of course, there's a counterclockwise where the stairs would go around the other way, and then I'll show you that in a moment. This one is the one that does not have banisters, and it is possible to, if you're going up multiple floors, to put another spiral staircase above it and just keep going up. So maybe you're building a tower, a lighthouse, or something of that sort. You can have this nice narrow building with the spiral staircase that goes up. And the various floors off of that. Now over
Sorry, I fell. No banisters.
Okay. Now this one here is the counterclockwise spiral staircase, and this is the one that has banisters. So, do you want to try making one
Sorry,
of the spiral
Mike.
staircases?
Sorry, I was too busy trying to get a slap in there. I should have took my prompt from you. My apologies. I was just having a quick slap, as you do, as we are the Three Stooges. So let me just check where I am, what I am supposed to be doing right at this moment. Okay, so thank you very much for that explanation to start us off with. Okay, so moving on. So I want to build one.
Okay.
What are the minimum requirements to build a staircase, Dan?
That's a great question. Typically, when you're building any type of structure, there's two skills you have to worry about: carpentry and masonry. And today's episode of Staircases, the skills that are required is 25 for carpentry and 0 for masonry for stairs.
Thank you very much. That answers that nicely. Right, time for the next question. Because I don't know nothing about stairs, and I'm not just saying it, I simply have never made any before. Right, okay, so what materials and tools do we need to make a spiral staircase, Mike?
Well, for the spiral staircase, there's the version with and without banisters. They have slightly different material requirements. The one without banisters requires 20 planks, 2 small nails, 1 large nail, 20 stone bricks, and 20 marble. And if you open up your recipe list and search for staircase, you will actually find a very large list of recipes, because they're all the different types of staircases. The one you want to look for is, if you scroll down, you might want to actually widen the window so it's a little easier to read them. We're looking for the spiral staircases, and as I mentioned, there's clockwise and counterclockwise versions, and then there's the plain version or the one with banisters. So you'll need to decide which, whether you want banisters or not, and whether you want it to go clockwise or counterclockwise, and that'll probably depend on where you're putting it in your building. If you're putting it in a corner like that, you'll want to think about where you're getting on the stairs and where you're getting off at the next floor.
Thank you very much, Mike. I've just showing the list here for everybody to see, and we can see staircases, clockwise, spiral as the first beginnings of all of the different types. So thank you for explaining what the minimum requirements to build.
This is how you would find out what materials you need.
Yeah,
the other thing is, when you're building wooden items, you can use either a mallet or a hammer. So you'll find, it'll have the recipe listed twice. One is using the hammer as the tool to build it, the second one being the mallet.
Thank you for mentioning that.
But otherwise, the materials are the same.
Thank you. Yep, I've shown that in the recipe window, just what you've just said, so that's excellent. Right, okay, moving on then, now that we got that cleared up. So, what's my next question? So, what's the first step we need to do then, Mike?
Well, for that, I would suggest we go over to this other small house we have. A house this size, you would need a very high carpentry skill to build. Most people aren't going to build something this big, at least not early on. But this is a 2x2, and with a 25 carpentry skill, you can build this and have a second floor. Okay, there you are. Went too fast for you.
Yeah, I was just showing the skill 25 carpentry, so they could see that.
If you check the Wurmpedia, you'll see that each floor requires a higher level of carpentry skill in order to build. And I don't know where Dan went.
He's right behind you.
All right. So slap him down. So I think you said you were maybe interested in doing a spiral with a banister.
Yes. Yeah, that would
Okay.
make for a good spiral.
Okay. The first thing obviously is it has to be in a building. So you have to plan out your building. You have to build the walls because the staircases can only be built on a floor. You cannot build them on a slab or bare dirt or grass. You have to put a floor in, and before you put the floor in, you have to finish all the walls of that floor, the first floor. So we've already got this set up for you. There's a floor here,
Yep, thank
and
you.
what you would do is just like if you were adding a second floor, you would right-click on the floor here, okay, with either your hammer or mallet
Yep,
equipped,
activated.
okay, activated, and you should see under plan, you should see a list. It'll say build clockwise spiral staircase,
Yep.
clockwise spiral, okay. If you only see floor above, floor below, or roof, it's because something's missing. Usually it's because you're not clicking on a floor, or you haven't got your walls done, or something to that effect. But if everything's right, you'll see all these choices. You wanna be careful about which one you pick, because if you put the wrong stairs up, it's going to be, as with any object, it's hard to break them down afterwards. So you would find the one you want, and probably for that corner, I'd probably go with the counterclockwise with banister.
And let's clarify one thing here. We mentioned clicking the floor with a hammer. We specifically mean floor, not ground, not a paved road. It has to be a floor
Yeah.
of which you placed, planned, and built a floor.
Thank
It
you,
will
Dan.
not work if you click on dirt, paved, cement, whatever.
We
Thank you.
went with, I have the wooden floors here, but it could be the any of the floors, the actual floors, not paving.
Right, thank you for clearing that up. So, what problems am I likely to encounter, Dan?
That's a great question. We should definitely tackle this before you start building it, so that way you're not frustrated. So let's go back to the big house real quick, and I'm going to show you two things that will make your life a lot better.
Why, thank you.
The first item that we're going to cover doesn't apply just for building building stairs, but it applies for everything. And it can sometimes be confusing in Wurm if you're not paying attention to the spine print. Some of the problems that people have is they're unaware of what they need for it, or the game will say you're not having everything. So I have an example up here for you to show. So this is the first thing we're going to show, and this will pertain to the stairs when we get there in a second. Alright, so if you will for me, I want you to right click on the planned roof and hit add to crafting window.
Okay, I've done that.
Alright, so now there's something onto the right side of the crafting menu that you need to point out. One of them says items needed in inventory, and then the needed tool crafting window. Obviously, if you put the tool in the crafting window, that'll disappear. When it says items needed in inventory, that means you need every single item in that category. Meaning you need the small iron nail, as well as a shingle before you can do anything. You can't just have a shingle, and you can't just have a nail. You need them both. However, if you right-click on the small cart and add it to the crafting window,
Yep. Oh, there is a fence or wall there. Action not allowed. Let me move and try again. It's possibly I wasn't far enough. There we go. Right. Okay. Thank you.
all right, you able to see
Could
the
have been
items?
the banister.
Could have been.
You able to right-click on the small cart and add
Yeah.
the crafting window?
Yeah.
All right, so now it says needed items. It doesn't say needed items in inventory. What this means... Sorry about the beeping.
That's all right.
What this means is it has planks, shaft, nails. That means in any order you can add them. You don't have to have them all in your inventory. And this applies to every item in Wurm. So the reason I mention this is for staircases specifically, you need all of the items in your backpack. So if you're building the one with banisters, you're going to need the shafts, along with all the others. If you're going to be building the non-banister ones, you're going to need everything else, which we're going to get to in a moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, we are going to demonstrate this, aren't we? Because I'm still a little unsure of what we're saying here. But
No problem. We're gonna work
excellent.
it out. But there's one more thing. So if we come over here to this staircase, which is already built, and we're going to go to the top, and we're going to stand on the middle pillar. So some people who figured out how to build staircases come across this problem, and it's not an uncommon problem. If you look to the east towards that tree, and you try to build a wall right here, you're unable to. If you have your mallet or hammer selected, you are unable to, because you are unable to click the tile.
That's right.
The border. However, if you turn to the left, if you mouse over just right where the handle is, you'll see a tile border.
Yeah,
and if
tile
you
border.
For them, right click there and do the plan and build wall.
Yeah.
See, that works there.
Yeah.
So now you're thinking your house is going to be incomplete because you can't build one to the right. All right, Mr. Gamester, go ahead and look down at the pillar that you're standing on. Right click on it. Click rotate and hit clockwise. All right, we're just going to wait for it to turn.
Thank you, Dan. It should have turned.
All right, now you should be able to see along the tree side that you can build a...
Oh, tile border, yes.
Yeah, so now go ahead and put the plan in.
I notice to activate that tile border, though, I have to sort of move the cursor to the far left topish bit of it.
Otherwise, or you can put it right in the middle of the handrail.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, you're good. And then go ahead and put a plan in to show people that it's being done.
Ah, yes.
For the wall.
Plan wall. There we go.
All right, and now you guys can build your walls, and once complete, you can rotate your stairs to your desired location.
Thank you. That's very informative, and that will save a lot of people getting frustrated with the corners where there is no tile for them to see until they turn it. Thank you for demonstrating that.
And this applies to all the other stairs that have issues, which we're going to get to in a later episode, but specifically the ones that are on the right or the left. If they're against the wall, you'll see that issue again. So remember, give your staircases a turn and try again.
Thank you. That was clarified very nicely.
In fact, on the subject of turning, sometimes you build some of the walls like that have a balcony or something. If it's facing the wrong way, you can rotate it so the balcony is hanging outside like it's supposed to. All right, so to get started, I believe Dan set up a pile behind you there with what you need to build your staircase. You'll want to do a plan first in the corner where you want your stairs. Oh.
Well, we are the Three Stooges, for goodness. So
why don't you do the plan by clicking on the floor over here where you're going to put the stairs.
Right. So I'm going to right click.
And do plan, and make sure you choose the one you want, which...
you tell me which one.
I think we said the counterclockwise spiral with banisters.
I don't
Should
see...
be the fourth option.
Oh, build counterclockwise spiral staircase with banisters. Gotcha. Thank you, guys. Right, so the guards kindly inform you that you are not allowed to do that here. Wait a minute. This is Roman's deed. Right, I'm going to slap him. And I'm going to give you one as well, Dan.
Alright, try again.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, we didn't have the permissions on the building set, so he could build. So
okay, let's try again.
There we
go.
See?
That's more like it.
Before you begin, go ahead and try to build it now. Add it to the crafting window.
Yeah, because I'm going to ask you a question in a minute, I believe. Okay, so I've added it to the crafting window.
Alright, and make sure your mallet is in there as well.
Ah, so I need to drag the mallet into the window now, do I?
Yes. So you should have a question mark on one side and a mallet on the other.
Right, let's find my mallet. Does it matter which side the question mark is, or the mallet?
It does not.
Thank you very much. There we
And,
go.
and you could also use the hammer if you didn't have a mallet.
Yes,
Thank
mallet
you,
and
Mike.
hammer for building a structure.
Okay, so I've got the mallet on the left and a question mark on the right. What's next?
Alright, so if you're confused or forgot what was required, hit build or create, And if you notice, you're not creating anything because you don't have any supplies yet. Look down in your event.
Oh yeah, it
log.
says you need planks, shafts, small nails, large nails. So that actually leads to my question. How can I tell if I need any items in my inventory, Dan?
Perfect question. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate this. Turn around to the box behind you in the pile.
Yep.
Alright, so I'm going to tell you what to put in your backpack.
Right, thank you.
Alright, you're going to put one plank,
Okay.
one shaft,
Okay.
one large nail,
Okay.
one small nail,
Okay.
one mortar.
And the way you know this is you look at your recipe list, and it tells you. First of all, it says you need the mallet as a starting item, so that means it has to be in the crafting window.
Oh, and
So-
under additional items. I
Right.
see. Well
Now,
done.
in order to start, you only need one of each item.
And when you continue with staircases, you need them all as well. And we're going to demonstrate that in a second. So I purposely did not have you pick up a stone brick.
I was going to just ask, why are we missing the brick?
So
Fantastic.
now I want you to go back to your crafting menu, which should have the mallet and the plan in there still.
Oh, right, yes.
And if you hit create, it's going to tell you the same message that you need the planks, the shafts, the small nails, and large nails, correct?
Yep, correct, thank you.
Alright, now pick up one stone brick,
Yep.
and now build.
Right, let's give that a go. I'm just going to
You
minimise.
should have one of every item now, so it should allow you to build.
Let's, have I got to face this way?
You
Does
do
it
not.
matter? Right,
So
okay,
you just have to be close enough.
okay, let's try. Yep, here we go, it's building a counterclockwise spiral.
And one of the things that's kind of interesting is
Got an achievement
it'll,
as well.
it'll add multiple things at once. It's a little bit different than what you've been used to seeing with
Ah,
crafting.
yes, all the items have gone from my pocket now.
Alright, and also, now to the right in the crafting menu, it should say items needed in inventory.
Oh, yes.
So, from our previous lesson earlier, if it says items needed in inventory, that means you need one of every item under that category. That means you need one mortar, one plank, one shaft, one small nail, and one stone brick.
So I'll start at the top. Actually, with the way the pile of items are, it's the bricks. So I'll grab a brick, then one mortar, then one plank. And thank
Now
you.
and that is the minimum that you need. You
One
can have
shaft.
more, but you obviously can't carry all the bricks at once. Nobody has that much
Very
room.
good point, because we're all going to be starting off very weak. Our strength will be low. Thank you for mentioning that. Right, Dan, I've got one again of each of the items in my pocket, except
and
for
you
the
should-
large nail, which we don't need anymore.
Nope, large nail is for the, that was for the initial.
Okay,
Right. We've already used the large nail.
Yep.
so I'll,
So, and this is important to note that it says needed in inventory, because if it just said items needed, you would have been able to grab any of those items and put them on in any order. You could have started with the small nails, you could have started with the stone bricks, but here, you must have one of each.
yes, very good point, because all the other
So-
episodes I've done, it's always been the other way of doing it, where I just grab what I want and add it. So this is very specific. We have to have, like you say, one of each item. Thank you
And
for clearing
it's
that
good to let people know that you
Mhm.
are a default character. The only traits that we've changed is we gave you 25 carpentry, and you have standard strength, and everything else is default. And
Everything,
you're able to
yeah.
carry one of everything.
Is that one on everything except the carpentry, which we needed. So 25 was what you said earlier. We need a minimum of 25 to think about building a spiral staircase. Thank you for that.
Specifically to build anything to a second floor.
to a second floor.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
because you wouldn't have a staircase if you weren't doing a second floor. So very good for that.
And make sure not to be confused that after building this staircase, do not expect to be able to build another staircase for a third floor with only 25 skill. That's going to require more. We're only giving you the minimums for the first expansion to the second floor.
Thank you, Dan. Right, okay, and thank you, Mike. Okay, so am I clicking continue now?
Yeah, you're able to go ahead and grab one of each and keep continuing.
Okay. And I'll just keep then grabbing one of each until we get through this.
Right. I mean, you probably can grab a couple of each.
Good point. I will see how many of each I can carry.
What I recommend is grabbing all the mortar, all the shafts, and all the nails, and then picking up planks 2 at a time and stone bricks 2 at a time.
Okay.
That way you can build faster. And all you have to do is keep replacing for planks and stone
Right,
bricks.
I've got all of them except now so I'm going to now grab the planks, see how many I can carry, leave the bricks to last. Right,
as your strength goes up, you'll be able to carry
Right,
more.
so I've got them all now, except for 17 bricks. Brilliant. Now I only need to add bricks. That is a very good point that you both made, because now that will make the crafting much easier. So I'm just going to keep clicking. I'm going to whack it to 3 and just keep continuing. And it's going to chew through until I need another brick. So keep trying that and doing that. And if you guys want to interject with any slaps of any kind, it's absolutely fine.
Knock, knock, knock.
There you go. You see, it keeps our viewers entertained rather than them having to just watch this continue bar, hearing you slap each other and seeing it in the event window. Well, this isn't going to take much longer.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, I'm not slapping him again.
You've gone a bit pale there, Mike. He has. Can you see that, viewers? Mike has gone distinctly pale, whereas Dan is got a rosy colour to his cheeks.
That's because I'm embarrassed.
Well, I'm nearly done. 4 bricks left. It's all in my pocket now, so we should be finished real quick.
And then if you can, for them one more time, show them putting the wall plans down for the next floor. So
Oh,
we'll
yes.
see the building of the staircase as well as dealing with that issue.
And there we go. Let's step back a bit. Bang, bam. There is our spiral staircase. What was it? Counterclockwise?
Whichever way you want to go,
with
go up there and
banisters.
see which way works.
Yeah.
As you go up, you're going counterclockwise. So that's the counterclockwise with banister.
Thank you very much, guys. That is fantastic. I believe...
And don't forget, you can rotate it, so if it wasn't quite the way you want it, you can rotate it.
Thank you very much for mentioning that. Yep, that is a good job done.
And as you can see, right behind you on the floor here, because the floor touches the wall, this is a good spot to put the plan, because anywhere where there's a floor, it'll give you the tile border. So you're able to put the plan on this edge.
To the wall.
Yeah, go ahead and put the wall plan.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, that issue only becomes a problem when it's like an outside wall, because if it wasn't an outside wall, you could have the floor on that next tile, and you'd have a border you'd be able to do.
I see.
When you put it at the edge.
And
Thank
now
you.
that you can't put one over here right in front of me, so
Oh,
we're
no.
gonna have to rotate. We're gonna have to rotate the staircase. And since we know that side works, we'll move that side to our front, which is clockwise. So I'm gonna move it clockwise. I'm gonna let you move it clockwise.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'd already clicked. Right, I think it moved it, did it?
You went counterclockwise, but it will still work.
That's me all over. Right,
And
and
you're
so...
able to show them the tile border and building
Yeah.
the plan.
So again, I find it easiest the way you said about hovering over the middle of the banister. That picks up the tile border nicely. And then planning the wall.
There's the timer.
There's the timer. Now,
Perfect time.
I would, add one more thing.
That's what I was going to say. No, carry on, because people can stop the video if they do not wish to watch. For those, though, that want to see some more slapping or hear it and see it, then please continue.
So now if you were going to add a second spiral staircase above this, I found the easiest way to do that is to go up top and right-click on the top of that pillar, and that's where you can do your plan. That's assuming you have the carpentry skill to go to a third floor.
Ah, thank you. Yes, I can see that. Yep,
Which
there we go.
do not at 25.
No,
Right.
So I think that calls for another.
Oh.
Well, I'm just telling you for future reference.
You just slapped the Jaffa cake out of my mouth.
No, thank you, Mike. That was very important to note.
And then don't forget, after you've done your walls up there, to rotate your stairs back the way you want.
Yep. Thank you very much for that. That clarified it. Lovely. I think you guys have done an excellent job, to be honest with you.
Can we just do a quick summary?
Of course we can. I
All
mean,
right.
like I say, people can stop if they wish, but I've got a strange feeling they want to see lots more slapping going on. And also to hear you say what you was going to say, of course, Dan.
Hey, I don't want to slap that. Alright, so the main issues with stairs is to make sure you're building on a floor tile, not a slab tile, or any other paved road. It's got to be specifically a floor. You're going to want to have 25 carpentry to go to a second level. You're going to need higher carpentry to go higher. You don't need any masonry, but you will gain it as you make the mortar and bricks and stuff like that.
Right, thank you.
Placing walls, make sure to turn the staircases in order to get
right.
the tile borders to your benefit. When you're done building the walls, move the staircase to whatever position you want it. And that's it for my summary and tips.
And of course, don't forget that you don't have to have all the items required. You have to have at least one of each item required in your inventory in order to start the wall.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike, for reminding us all. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, both of you. I believe you both deserve a slap. Right, I'm going to end this episode with us slapping each other, because there's no other fitting end to the Three Stooges who are building staircases. And all three of us look forward to seeing you all again. Join us with our next set of stairs, whatever they may be, whichever type. So if you guys want to say goodbye, I'll end the video.
Well, I guess, geez. Oh, that's disgusting. So we just have a lot of slapping instead of waffling.
Yes, exactly. Right, thank you ever so much, both of you, for taking me through that. I now know how to make a spiral staircase, and I'm quite sure everyone who watches this video, apart from the slapping and the breaking wind, will also know how to make the spiral staircase. And it's thanks to both of you. Thank you very much on behalf of everyone.
Thank you for your tutorials.
You're welcome. Bye bye everyone. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every single last one of you safe. Have a fantastic day, and thank you for joining the Three Stooges.